What are you gonna do with all that leftover holiday ham? There's only so much soup and sandwiches that you can eat, so I'm gonna show you how to make a classic omelet that we're gonna load up with some of that ham, shredded cheddar cheese, and you know it's gonna be absolutely amazing. I know making an omelet may not seem like a big deal, but there is a classic French technique to doing it. And like I always say, if you understand these basic techniques, you can make anything homemade from scratch and it will always taste better. No need to be sitting in that line at the omelet station, which I've worked way too many times to care. You can do it at home. It's super easy. Before we get into the ham and cheese omelet, I'm gonna show you how to make a regular omelet so you can have the confidence to add in all the ingredients you want even past the ham and cheese. What I'm gonna do to start is crack some eggs right into a medium-sized bowl. Next, going to season it up with some sea salt and fresh cracked black pepper. And then simply using a fork, we wanna whisk this completely. Yes, you can use a whisk if you feel uncomfortable using a fork. The goal here is to whisk it so that there is no whites or yolks separated. They should be emulsified and combined together. Once it is to this consistency, we're gonna go over to the stovetop. So the one thing that you actually will need for this is a non-stick skillet. Now, if you have a really bomb seasoned up cast iron skillet, that should work okay. But really, you need a non-stick skillet so that it slides right off the pan and nothing is sticking to it. That's how you perfect this recipe, my friends. Go ahead and add in some cold unsalted butter. And on low to maybe medium heat, on the lower side, once the butter has completely melted, it might bubble up a little bit. That's a great sign. Go ahead and pour our whisked egg mixture right into there. Then using a rubber spatula, what you want to do is constantly stir the pan with that spatula while holding the pan in the other hand and moving it back and forth. You want small little egg curds to form. This is going to help so you can flip it over and fold it over and get that perfect, beautiful omelet at the end. Now it's going to go very, very quickly. I'm talking, gosh, maybe even less than 1 minute at this rate, at this temperature. Continue to move it around until right at the very end, you'll notice a layer has sort of formed on the bottom of the omelet. This is exactly what you want. Don't break through it, okay? Because what you want to do now is fold it over. So let's just simply go over by our cutting board and then using a rubber spatula starting at the top, get underneath that bottom layer and start to gently fold forward and over this omelet. You should have multiple layers when this thing is done folding. It's not a simple fold in half and then serve it. No, this is a classic French technique, my friends. And don't freak out if it seems like the eggs are a little bit uncooked on the top. Once you fold it over, it's gonna continue to steam cook. Like I always tell you, carry over cooking. This is a part of it. That is exactly how you make an omelet. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Now to prep up. If you had cheesy vegetables over the holidays, I'm pretty sure you got some cheddar cheese lying around. So I'm going to simply grate that right into some parchment paper or on a plate, whatever, just to kind of hold it so I'm not messing up my cutting board. Simply set it to the side, and then I've got a big old chunk of leftover ham. I'm sure you got a ton of this stuff. What I want to do is small dice it up. That way, with every bite of the omelet, I get a piece of ham. I hate those big old chunks of ham. They're chewy. It's hard to cook the omelet with it. Go small, go bite size. I promise you'll dig it that way. Once it is small dice, now it's time to simply go back to the beginning where we're cracking eggs right into a bowl. Next, hit it with salt and pepper. Whisk it up using a fork until it is completely combined. Now go ahead and add in those small bite-sized pieces of ham. Give it a quick whisk, and then we're going right over to the cooktop. Just like in the original recipe, we're gonna add in some butter to our non-stick skillet and on low heat. Once it has melted, pour in our ham and egg mixture. Now for a little tip, okay? You wanna be so professional in your kitchen, we're gonna do away with the rubber spatula and we're gonna use a fork this time. In the same motions, rock that pan back and forth and use your other hand to continue to sort of whisk it, making small curds in this omelet. And just like before, once it kind of forms that bottom layer and it's a little bit soft on top, This is exactly what you're looking for. At this point, sprinkle on some of that shredded cheddar cheese. And now using a fork, keep it going, my friends. You can do this. I believe in you. Start to gently fold it over. Put it right onto the plate, and just like the last one, tuck it in on the sides if you need to give it that perfect shape. Should be nice and smooth on top, just like this and the other omelet I made. And then for a garnish, you can add on some chopped chives or parsley. And then sometimes, to be able to tell the difference, I put on a little bit extra diced up ham and cheese, just so people know what's inside of it. And this one right here is an absolute winner, so get to making it and use up all that leftover ham. And if you love breakfast, I make the most bomb biscuits and gravy. Check it out, and I'll see you on that video.